get it, which will be all gravy. Everything is working.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everybody. Mate, to be honest with you, I can't believe we've actually got a third episode out, to be honest with us. Like,
Seems to be going so fast. I
especially for
can't
the.
believe we.
Go on.
I can't believe we can talk so much.
Yeah, especially for, like, the time limit as well, being like, because it's, like, especially. Uh, well, they've both been over 2 hours. I don't know if this one will be over 2 hours. We'll see where it goes and where it heads off to. And why is my camera blurry? I swear to God, if I have to buy a new camera, I'm going to lose full. I might just use my ghost hunting camera and just slap it up. But it's a bit excessive, this huge fucking thing just being like, whoa, in your face. But, yeah, no, it's definitely going well. To be honest with you, like, we're not doing amazing on YouTube or anything because we're not really doing anything at the minute. We've just started. But to be honest with you, I was expecting to get like 2 views. That's about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I wasn't expecting much. Just a view from me and a view from you.
yeah, just something like, or just some close friend or something. But nah, they're doing all right though. I think they'll gain traction at some point, depending on.
We probably need to put your link in the on your page.
Yeah, well, I'll get it. I think I don't know. I was about to say it's in my description somewhere, but it probably ain't by its looks. When we just check that, it's probably not. It probably says I'm like 21 somewhere, and it's just not. Everyone's getting confused. Like, what age are you? 28. Why? Because she thinks it's 26. Like, fucking. That's probably from when I first created, like, my Twitch page, which I didn't really do anything on. I literally created it and then streamed for about 2 minutes, and then that was it. That was my Twitch career. So.
Have you got an earthquake happening?
Maybe. Yeah, my screen just shake. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It might be my PC that's just literally just kicking in its fans. I don't know, but yeah, we'll figure out. I want to know why I'm so like. It's a bit blurry. I don't know why it is. It's kind of very crazy. I'm just sorry about that stream. I'm literally just hovering. I was hovering my cursor all over the page then. But yeah, no. I've had no sleep, so I've got some topics I want to talk about, but I don't know how well they're gonna go because the shit night I had. So that can just be like, yep, that can be put to one aside, and hopefully that goes all right. But obviously, I don't really want to speak about it on stream because it was kind of weird. But
yeah,
other than that, it's kind of yeah. Normally, at least I get like an hour's sleep before like this nonsense, but so I'm just running on fumes. So if I start like derailing and just going into something completely irrelevant, just be like, Mike, bring me back to reality. Or if I fall asleep,
or I might just be interested in the tangent you take me on.
Yeah, probably it'd probably just be a weird tangent of just some craziness anyway. But we someone brought it to my attention the other day because I was having this weird conversation with one of my first ghost hunters I was ghost hunting with. So it was a long time ago. Who I had this obsession, and I mean this stupid obsession, right, of taking things from silly locations, right. And what I mean by, like, it'd be the most weird, like, at the start of it when it first went off, like, you wouldn't really know because obviously they wouldn't tell you or anything. Mm-hmm. And then you'd get in a car to drive home, and weird shit would be happening in the car, and then you get to the hotel, and then like weird stuff would be happening in the hotel, and you'd be like, I'm pretty sure I protected myself going in, so what's cracking off? And then it got so obvious that he he would pick, like, let's just say you'd be walking through his like old house, and he'd find like a doll or something and just take it home with him. Just take it home with him. Just casually take it home with him. Same at graveyards. We wouldn't even be doing an investigation. We'd be just visiting a graveyard to get information on the people who had died in, let's say, the town, the city, the village, the area, just doing research. And my man's picking up, like, stones from a graveyard. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
Leave things be.
Like, you can't be taking these types of stuff because there's connections to it. There's like there's so like it's so dangerous to just be taking objects from places, because that's where most people get hauntings. Like a few people get hauntings from. It's like they'll go to like some weird forest or something, and there'll be some like weird like stone, or they'll find something, and because our brains are so intrigued in that type of stuff, they'll just be like, oh, I'm just gonna pick it up, and then take it, and then you're like, 2 days later they're getting like attacked in their ass by some entity, and you're like, that's like, what are you doing? It's like, well, I took this thing from it. It got to the point where it started taking like, like Gollum off Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So it got like that. It got to the point where it would be in like some weird witchcraft place that's like no one should be, because we're investigating, and there's witchcraft. I want to say memorabilia, but that's not the right word I'm looking for. Paraphernalia, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just witchcraft objects everywhere, and it's literally like Gollum off at Lord of the Rings. Is like there'll be stuff hanging, and they'll be cutting it off. They'll be cutting it off like, and you'll be like,
my precious.
yeah, and you'll be like, what are you doing? And they'll just be like, oh, I'm just taking it home because I've got a collection. I was like, but you don't know what it's doing. And it's like, it's all right. And then you try and take it off him, and that's when it'll be like, no, and you'd be like, bro, it's like working with a child. It's like, come on, man, you can't be doing this type of stuff. You can't.
It's just messing with stuff that doesn't belong to him.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It's I don't know. Like, he has no hauntings whatsoever, none. Like, to this day, I'll message him later, and I'll be like, mate, take a picture of your collection of like stupid things you've taken, and it'll be crazy. It'll be like a doll, and like next minute it'll be like a jar of dirt or some grass. Obviously, I presume the grass is like died by now, but it'll be like some flowers, something.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where some things would be in a especially when we was in like graveyards, or you're from different places, cemeteries, and he'd start picking things off graves, like things that people had left there for other people, like, but not recently, like old like 60 years ago and stuff. So there'd be like toys that are there that are starting to like not rot, but you know what I mean, like be destroyed, and it just pick them up and take them. It'd think it was perfectly fine. I don't know what it was in his head. That was just, and we couldn't do it no more. We couldn't, because that was when we was doing like privatey, like house locations at people's houses.
Yeah.
So you could be like he had somewhat of being like, oh, I can't take this. We're in someone else's house. It's a bit weird if I just start taking. But we had to get rid of. We're like, bro, you can't come on, because then we started to do like museums and stuff, and I was like, there's no way, mate, I'm taking them into a museum and like or somewhere that there's like historical objects,
possibly valuable,
and him just being like, mine, and then acting so weird about it. It was such a weird thing, but like on how like just. I don't know. I can't explain it. It was such a weird thing. A lot of people have this idea as well, as when that happens, is like people all like have got this little thing that I don't know. Shall I touch it? Shall I touch it? Shall I touch it? And it's just like, just stop. Just stop what you're doing. You're making it like 20 times worse. It was so weird to see. I've never seen it.
How much would it affect like a ghost thing? Do you know a ghost viewing, or how much would it affect, your session?
What if someone was just taking shit?
Yeah.
It would cause chaos, because it's like, unless it's regularly moved, which some things are, like if it's in your house or something. But a lot of things that we did are just like stationary, are very just like still objects. They're not really moving or anything. But quite a bit. Because you're literally being like, unconsciously, you're taking something and you're being like, oh, you're a part of me now, because then you put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
So it's that thing of, it's not like holding an object, because you're going to hold it, do a EVP session or something, or an obelisk or spirit box or whatever, and then you're gonna put it back.
Yeah.
So but the minute you start taking stuff and transitioning it from it being where it should be in its natural state to then being like, oh, it's my possession, then that spirit's going to be like, well, fucking, I'm your possession as well. Then now it's coming with you, because a lot of spirits obviously are tied to. People think places, but a lot of them are tied to objects as well.
Right.
So it's never.
Because I've heard like haunted houses, but is it like a specific object within that house rather than the house itself?
Yeah, a lot of people think when you die or something that you're bound to the location because that's where you died. But if we were to take logic into it and went into more detail, it's probably tied to something in the house. The location can mean a lot if you've been there forever. So the location's a big part, but then a lot of people, you know, when they buy houses and like they buy all the stuff in the house with it, which is freaky as by itself, like that. So you see a lot of hauntings there, but they think it's the house, but it's not. It's because you've brought all their possessions with it. Like, say someone's died or moved out real quick, and they're just like, fuck it, sell my house, keep all my shit.
Yeah.
So it's part and part. A lot of people will automatically say, oh, it's a haunted house, but I think that's just one of them tropes where it's like it's meant to scare people, but it's not.
Movies again.
Yeah, movies again. It could be a million and one things. It could be a portal, as people like to call them. Could be someone's worshipped, someone's there, someone's done a Ouija board. It could be an object that someone's tied to. A lot of people think like demons are attached to like objects, but they're not. They're not. But they are kind of like their attachment to it. But how can I put it? So, you know, like the story of Annabelle, the doll.
Yeah.
Right. So like people thought, because obviously Ed and Lorraine Warren were demonologists, and obviously Ed was sanctioned as a exorcist, but not a real one. But the Catholic gave him permission to do it, which is okay. Or like the church gave him. Yeah. So like people think, oh, like demons want to possess like dolls. A lot of things have got to do with dolls, but that's not the case. Like they don't. Like demons don't possess dolls, then that's not their goal. Their goal is not to possess a doll. They'll move it, they'll act like they're in it, they'll start moving stuff. But their sole goal is to just like obviously possess a human. So a lot of people I think movies don't really do a lot for this type of stuff, and I think obviously we don't do a lot for this type of stuff either as people, because we go into it with so like open-minded, but then yet so illogical that it's like it kind of makes it difficult to definitely go in it. So you like, for instance, if you were to just I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you were to just like flop over and die in your house now, like people will be like, well, it's because he died in this room. But for all I know, you could be attached to your fucking dartboard behind you. Like, there's nothing like there's such a wide aspect of what things can be associated with other things that people just automatically presume.
Yeah.
It's haunted houses, which is.
I never knew that it could actually be a particular object, or whether it was just, like I say, I've not really been part of this kind of world.
Mm-hmm.
It's all new. So the fact that you could actually be part, for instance, you could just be part of an Xbox controller.
Yes, you could be attached to anything. That's why. Unless you're into that type of stuff, you should be wary always buying second-hand stuff. As in, there's not like second-hand Xbox or anything, not anything like that, but like second-hand like furniture or dressers or beds, and especially like jewelry. Like you find it quite a lot that it's like, you know, when jewelry gets passed down from generation to generation, it's like a family heirloom or something.
Yeah.
Like even that could have an attachment to the people who it's come from before. So if you don't believe in that type of stuff, it shouldn't really bother you. You know, it's that thing of it never crossed, like you said, it never crossed your mind that it could just be an object in the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be a million and one things. That's why I'd go on these investigations and like, and then my mum would always say to me, she'd be like, don't bring anything back with you, like, because when you come to me, I don't want it, and it's like I'm not gonna bring anything back to me. And then, but then in the next breath, I got my dad going out and buying second-hand furniture, and I'm like, that's more likely fucking haunted than I am. Like that's like a bad thing to be doing. You can't. No, it's not a thing. So it's not a lot of people think as well as like new builds, like you live in a new building and it's fine, like a new house build. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. You're not.
Why?
Because it's just land based, you're based.
Right, yeah.
If it's like most spirits, say if you've seen a spirit since you're a little kid tonight, it's attached to you. It's not attached to anything else.
Oh right.
So that's why I had to like. I explained this to Madeline, like, because obviously I was like, if you're seeing it now, you've moved location and it's still with you, then it's attached to you. It's formed an attachment to you. Tristan's in chat, so it makes it definitely makes it harder to definitely disperse it, but it's, I don't know, it's a weird.
Can you have more than one, like spirit, ghost, whatever, attached to the same item?
The same
so
item.
Like we were talking about the heirloom kind of thing, and it's passed down. So could it be possible to have more than one?
Multiple attachments to the Of course it is. Yeah. You don't really see it a lot. It's not really a big thing. I think it might be. It's just that people never like report it, because if like you either get picked on like as someone like so you got two aspects, like take the people who believe it out of it, so take the non-believers who don't believe in it.
Yeah,
there's two parts to it, so they're either picked on until they believe it, as in like a ghost will just continuously barrage them with absolute nightmare stuff until they're like, you know what, actually. So that's a bit awkward. But then you've got the other side that are non-believers who aren't open to it, so nothing will come to them, because you have to be a bit open. Like I say, some spirits like the openness, some spirits are a bit dickish and they're just like, oh, you're a non-believer, like, and you're just like,
yeah,
like
just until it's like, okay,
until you exist, because that's their goal. But I don't like, it's such a hard thing to grasp that it's like to be honest with you, I don't think I'll be a full believer for until I die. Like, I can't like it. It's not something that you like until you experience it. It's not something that you can like be like, oh, I fucking had a conversation with a ghost yesterday. Didn't not seen one apparition. It wasn't even full bodied, and that's it. And I've done, I don't even want to think about how many investigations I've done. So yeah, like I've spent like time and time. So
yeah, I think it would be a bit. I've got to take your word for it, because it's not happened to me. So it's quite difficult to get my head around without actually physically seeing it. Do you know, like with scientists wanting results after results, it's like I just want to figure it out myself as well, see it for myself.
Yeah.
However, I've got no knowledge and have no idea where to start. So I just kind of go, right, that's me out of here.
Exactly. But
kind of thing.
It's trying to get across to people as well that that's how it should be. Like we spoke about it last time. It's like you've got to wait for experience yourself. But you know me, everyone else knows me. I'm not going to come here and just be like, just chat or to like nonsense to you. I'm literally.
Oh no.
Because that's what people are afraid of sometimes. People are afraid of like, are you actually being serious? And it's like, well, no. I just thought I'd spend 4 hours of my life just absolute talking waffle. To what extent? So it's like, so I've definitely got a good reputation on with other people knowing that I'm not there to lie to them. We can have a perfectly good conversation. I'm not going to be like, you're not a believer, and just be like, no, like, so it definitely helps it helps. It helps other people. It helps these types of conversations to know that the person you're talking to is like genuine and not just bonkers.
Yeah. And then not just after money as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because money's a big motivator in things like this, or can be a big motivator in things like this.
Yeah, 100%, like 100%, and it's good to.
So I think it's like what you said in either a couple of podcasts ago that when you went to New Orleans,
Yeah.
You can tell the genuine ones from the charlatans that are just after a bit of money.
Yeah, it's such a. It's definitely changing more now. To back, but when I first started, it used to be like anything goes, shit. So, like, but now it's like I say, it's too like now you need like people who trust you. Like it's such a weird like because I like with human behavior, I've seen it transition from period after period after period after period. Now it's like you need like I don't need validating at all, but it's like you need it for other people to back you up, so people would just be like put some logic into it and not just like who is this person, like who like because you have to vouch for people. Obviously it gets you a bit further.
Yeah.
So I've got people to vouch for me, whether it's ghost hunting, whether it's trying to find someone, whether it's like human behaviour, whether it's like how genuine of a person I am. I've got people all over who will vouch for me, and you shouldn't have to have that, but because of this generation, you need it, and
there's so much shit going around that's false. It's just to the extent of like Instagram and things like that, people's photos.
Yeah.
The amount of people that how much Photoshop can change everything to give you the illusion that someone's living the high life when they could just be sat in their mum's basement or something.
That's it. Feet up, like 20 stone with a belly on them, resting a Coke on it with a burger in there, and being like, like your typical gamer, like,
Yeah.
like. But no, you're right. You're so right. Block out the idea of paranormal, of spiritual presence, and others will always have an open mind for it, but still not believe. Right, yeah. So there is. But it's kind of based off of just the act. Of course, there's always two sides. Like with the belief, certain people, like I say, certain people block out the idea of spiritual presence, and others will have an open mind for it, but still don't believe, which is okay, but not from our point of view. From like what we was talking about, is from like the like a spirit's point of view. They see it as two. They see it as they're either going to leave you alone or they're just going to annoy you. So it's not like. They don't really.
Most of them go, "Oh fuck this! I'm leaving him well alone."
Yeah, some people just don't like, they just don't want it, but it's like it's very. I can answer this question. Like, I think everyone's open-minded, but still don't believe because I presume that's open-mindedness as itself, and to do with anything. If you're an open-minded person, you've got
You can also choose to believe in certain things, right? Like certain areas compared to other areas within the realm of paranormal.
Yeah, obviously.
It's like my granddad, for instance. This is going to go on just a quick brief thing about religion and things, but he's a Christian. He goes to church, or did go to church, but some of the stories in the Bible, he reads them and all that, but he chooses to believe the ones he wants to believe rather than what he's told to believe.
Yeah.
And he's a logical guy as well. And it's like, that seems a little too far-fetched or whatever, so I'm not going to believe that a certain area, but I'll like to believe this one because it sounds good. Like thou shalt not, the commandments and things. So it's like, yeah, they seem reasonable. The other stuff seems a bit like Moses parting the sea or whatever scenario it is. It's like, yeah, that seems a little bit too over the top for my liking.
Over
So
the
I'll
top.
just, yeah,
No, it's definitely. Oh no, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely. I pretty. People always like to cherry pick what suits them and what they want to believe in,
yeah,
and like with religion, because it's all tied in. Like shit, like demons come from religion, so it ties into what we're talking about. Is that faith's a bit more different than belief in it. It's kind of like you can cherry pick like certain, like you say, certain passages from the Bible,
yeah,
whether it's whether it's genocide or whether it's from Old Testament, New Testament, whether it's from like the apocalypse to other things. Is you can cherry pick what you want, whereas the paranormal you can be like, oh well, I want to believe in that, but the paranormal is so tied together with so many different things that cherry picking can be kind of dangerous, because you also need like a backup kind of thing. So if you were to like cherry pick, like it's just interests in general. So if you were to cherry pick, oh, I want to go into demonology,
yeah,
I'd be like, oh, learn how to do that. But then go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to learn how to protect myself. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of a dumb thing, because you'd go into like a world of, or you'll go, oh, I want to go into demonology, but I don't want to study religion. But they go hand in hand. Or because you get this quite a lot, and we'll go like we spoke about it last time, I think. Whereas people were like, oh, I believe in the devil, but I don't believe in angels, and it's like
yeah, because the devil is a fallen angel.
yeah, you can't cherry
Some
pick.
people don't particularly understand that.
Yeah, you can't cherry pick fucking just because you've never seen an angel. People say it with demons as well. People are like, oh, I've seen an exorcism, but it's like, wow, there was no angels there. It's like, but they go hand in hand. Like if you need to be careful if you're going to pick these certain things. I'm not saying don't. If there's obviously it's everyone else's belief and faith and stuff what you want to pick, but when it comes to like paranormal, like the whole aspect of paranormal, everything goes into it. People automatically presume it's just ghosts, but it's not. It's like it's every witchcraft, everything goes into this unknown category, and because it's unknown, like logic says, I shouldn't cherry pick. You can't like that's like going to that's like having three bushes. Two of them can kill you, like if you eat the berry off them, and one's fine, and you're going well, well, like no,
People risky.
like it's such a. Or if it goes the other way, like one will be fine, one can kill you, one will poison you, and one will cure you. Like you don't want to be cherry picking at that point. You don't just want to be like, I'll have a bit of that, a bit of that. You got to be at least somewhat well versed into different things and what associates with different
Yeah,
categories. But it's
but I guess there's going to be little bits of each thing that goes into it, which then makes you end up studying a lot of it rather than, like you say, cherry picking. Otherwise, it can just become one hell of a minefield if you don't kind of, like you said, protect yourself if you're doing summoning a demon or whatever.
yeah, it's like a. It'll always be hard to try and find the right balance between everything, because it always is when it comes to creepy stuff and certain things. It's not a even when it comes to faith. It's it's such a unique way of looking at stuff that it's like you're like I say, you either believe or you don't. That's it. It's not like
Yeah.
it will never come down to none of us will be even if a spirit walked up to me now and slapped me in my face and chucked me out my window, I'm still not going to be 100% believer until I die, because that's the ultimate thing. It's the same with faith. I'm never going to be 100%. My faith's never going to be 100% because I'm never going to know until I fucking cork it.
Oh, to see if there is actually a
Either an
pearly gates
afterlife,
or
yeah, or heaven
yeah.
or hell, so I've definitely been on some investigations where it's like uh, people are like so into it and so like, oh well, I believe 100%, and it's like you can't really though, can you? It doesn't matter if you've spoken to a spirit. It doesn't really matter, because
Yeah.
Like no one else is like, especially this generation. Like I say, no one else is going to believe you. So it's like that's why I
Just
don't.
say, when are we going to put him in a loony bin?
Yeah, a loony bin. That's why I don't like. That's why there's no pictures like of my Instagram or Twitter. There's just no pictures of like us ghost hunting. There's no YouTube videos of us like, because at this generation it's just, what's the point of getting like, someone's gonna have to go through all them videos and be like, like if I was doing it, it wouldn't bother me, like the comment section of things, because it's not a I don't really care about that.
No.
But someone's gonna have to go through it, and then someone's gonna be bothered about it, and then they're like, oh well, it's fake, and it's this, and I just don't need the hassle. I don't need once that mentality starts creeping into your group, then you've got doubt, and you can't be doubting yourself when, well, in anything. You don't really want to be doubting yourself in anything. So it's very, like, the minute one person's like, wow, everyone, what's the point of this? Everyone just thinks we're doing it for fake. Then their mindset's changed now. Their mindset's like not
Yeah,
about.
as soon as they see that one comment, someone saying it's fake, they've already got in their mind before they've watched the whole video themselves that it's fake.
Yeah. And
because they've just seen a comment in big letters saying fake.
And it changes your perspective of what you're doing. So now the person, let's just say, who we're doing an investigation with, is just going to automatically be like, he's not going to be into it. He's not going to be into it for the same reason. He's just going to be like, well, it's just going to self-doubt, and it's like, and I'll stand by this until the end of time, and people are going to find it weird, but second guessing yourself gets you hurt. Like sometimes, right. I'll always stand by it. So you would never second guess yourself from crossing the road, would you? You'd be sure and then cross. The minute you start second guessing yourself, you start hesitating.
Yeah.
And hesitation is definitely not a good thing when it comes to obviously in certain things it's okay, but in other certain things it's definitely not good to be hesitating, because normally your first gut feeling's always right. You're like your first, because let's not say gut, but your first feeling's more or less natural. It's like a natural occurrence to a feeling.
So it's basically your instinct.
Yeah, it's like that's natural, but then everything else after that is you perceiving it different. So now you're making.
I've had that far too often.
A decision
when I've gone against it, and it's like, yeah, what harm can happen?
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm being chased by a guy and his dog wanting to beat me up.
Yeah, it's that. Well, yeah, like there's certain extremes to it, isn't there? There's like that you go from, like, just, I don't know, people don't understand that. It's like the minute something's not natural, it's kind of forced, and it's normally the wrong decision. It's normally a decision that you regret. Everyone's had them. Everyone's been like.
You're trying to think logical about these things, even if your body's screaming otherwise. It's like, I'll just use this as an example. I went to take my sister home, just walking around to hers, and then I was coming back down the General near mine. And I was thinking, walking up to General, if someone's there, I'll turn around and go the other way. I just thought, yeah. But the chances at 11 o'clock at night, someone being there is very slim. I got to the General. There was a guy stood there. And then I kept walking thinking, oh, he's only just stood there. He's probably on his phone. What harm can come of it? He wasn't dressed in any hoodies or anything, like stereotypical, they're here to cause trouble kind of thing. So I go walking by. His dog just came out of nowhere, started attacking my dog. And it's like, what the fuck? I got his dog, and obviously to protect my dog,
yep.
I kind of threw his dog to him to pick him up. But no, he was like, oh, fucking come here, I'm gonna knock you out. And he was drunk after, watching England.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing? Just pick your dog up and go home, you're bloody drunk. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So,
but my gut was already screaming at me not to go down there.
Not to go down there. Like, well, not even not to go down there, but that first decision to be like, oh, if there's someone there, I'm going to turn around, and then you ignore it. And then, like, yeah, it's always like...
What harm could have come of it? And then next thing I know, it's like, yeah, the guy's wanting to kick my head in.
Yeah, it's such a weird... And it's
so... just gone, yeah, fuck it, I'll walk back round a long way.
Yeah, and it's so hard to explain this, like, with not logic, because obviously people have their agendas, people have their reasons why they see things differently. So it's such a hard thing to be like, you know what? Like, you know when you're just trying to explain to someone like the most simplest thing, and it's not going in because they're thinking something completely different. They've
Yeah.
got this idea, and it's not yet. It's it's not had anything to do with uh, what what the what the process was. And for instance, I'll use an example. So when was summoning stupid demons and shit, as you do, and I got to the point where I sliced, like, in a ritual. I was meant to slice, like, get some blood. I was doing and I, instead of slicing my hand, I sliced my leg. But then I went into this weird thing where I just sliced the full length of my leg,
Oh wow.
and then started to bleed out a little bit. A little bit. I say a little bit, a lot. My muscle was out. My muscle was literally popping out my leg a little bit, like.
Jesus, that's just crazy.
And like me trying to explain that, like, and the weirdest thing was I was so out of it, whether it was to do with what I was doing or to do with the fact that might be bleeding to death, like, as you do. I went and sat next to this dude on a bench and just had the normalest conversation with him. Didn't have a clue. It was just an old man just sat there. To this day, I don't even know if that old man was real. Wouldn't know. But I was
Never
like,
seen him again since.
no, I was like bleeding eye. Obviously, he didn't see I was bleeding eye. He never stopped looking forward. But we had like a 5 minute conversation, and then I woke up in the hospital, and literally,
Wow.
why I'm saying this is because it's like the intent behind me doing that was not what people thought. That people thought I was crazy. People thought I tried to take my own life. People were like, and I wasn't even on drugs at this point. I'd stopped for a period, so I
Yeah.
wasn't even on drugs. They went to be like, "Oh, you're taking drugs again," and I'm sat there just being like, I can't physically. I was just like, nope, don't know what happened. I was doing something stupid, and I can't remember anything else. Like, I sliced my leg open. That, like, I was meant to slice my hand open. I literally said I was meant to slice my hand open, but something made me slice my leg open. And then they look at you like, I think you're a bit crazy, and you're just like, there's no,
Oh,
you can explain it till you're blue in the face. Like, the intent of what I did had
yeah.
nothing to do, but because they all had these agendas and all these things in their head, like, they couldn't just sit back and be like, yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, there was no premeditated like intent. Go and kill yourself by slicing your leg.
Yeah, it's just common sense would be like,
But then you can't actually explain why you did your leg when it should have been your hand.
but that's what I'm saying. So I can't explain that, but I know the intent behind it, but they didn't. So it's
No.
such a weird concept that people, and you can't blame people for doing it. Like, I've had it loads of time. I've been labelled, like, we've had this conversation earlier when we were on Xbox. I've been labelled all sorts of things, and it's just people's got this. It's whether if they've been hurt in their past life or something. They've got this like voice in their head that's telling them certain things, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good thing because it makes them curious, it makes them more aware, it makes them more cautious in life. Because obviously everyone doesn't tell the truth. Like, no one on this planet Earth tells 100% the truth. It's impossible. Like,
No.
that's impossible. But
But I try and be as honest as possible.
right, exactly. But there's some points where it's like, if you're keeping a secret from someone, and then I ask you what secret is, and you're like, I can't, it's a secret, then you're lying to me. Then you keep like, so there's a part of it that's like, no one can tell the truth, but it's these some people have this weird notion that it's like a bad thing, and it's like, and you can't explain to them that it's like the intent, like, because everything on planet Earth, like, speaking wise, the actions we do,
Yeah.
like, if you're just going to ignore the intent behind it, then there's like, you're not going to get anywhere with anything, because that's what makes conversations meaningful, makes conversations good. It makes it. That's why people can take a joke or not take a joke or take banter, because the intent behind it is not to be a dick, but it's to have a laugh with your friends. So, not being able to, or just taking it out of a certain context or a certain thing that's definitely not you. It's hard, and it's what you get in the paranormal field. It's like
Yeah.
people take it way out of context, and you're just like last time when I said like part of an exorcism, people are like, oh, fucking head spinning around, fucking like no, you're taking it way out of context. It's not even that. It's like ghost hunting and your car and it's like I say people are like, oh well, you must have seen it all. No, take it way out of context again.
Not all.
That's not how it goes. It's not on planet Earth. Is that how it goes? And it always makes. I don't know if you get the same feeling, but it always makes me like uneasy when. I don't want to use like anxiety, but that type of feeling where it makes you uneasy when someone's took what you've said or done and like made it not what it was.
Yeah, they kind of twist what it is to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drives me wappy. Sometimes it makes me just go, yeah, I don't want to talk to you all anymore.
Yeah.
But on the other end, it's a case of, well, if you're worth my time, I'll happily explain. I'll try and figure out why you're thinking this way rather than the way I'm thinking or the way it is. But I guess each person's going to be different on how they react to it.
Yeah, that's like we say, we can handle the action because we're doing the action, but the reaction we have no control over. And I think that's why it makes everyone feel uneasy when it's taken out of like a certain context or something, because it's like there was no badness in it. There was nothing. There was nothing tying somebody to this action.
There was no intent
to cause harm or do anything, and especially obviously we as humans, like some people, like you have to, especially from country to country, everyone like so a lot of English people put like X's, like kisses at the end of their messages as it's just like an endearing thing to do. Doesn't mean you're like you're trying to hit on someone. It's just an endearing thing. So I think that's a big part of it as well, is trying to understand how people different act. So Americans find that weird. So when I was first in America, I'd say when I'm talking to like females, depending on what the situation, I use love quite a lot. So like, oh, thank you, love, because it's an English thing. It's a term of endearment. But they were like, love, like, do you love me? And I'm like, no, like, but then they look at you weird, and then you're like, they've taken it so out of context already that it's like
it's taken the literal meaning of it.
Yeah, and then I think that's what it is, the distinction between like two languages as well when you're doing it, and especially two different types of people from different countries. Like it's not like it's going to mean something different over here than what you're doing it. Like the intent behind it's going to be so different, and it's trying to understand it.
Oh, just look at this. People from London to up here, it's still the same thing. And it's still in the same country.
Same country, yeah. It's this weird.
So, flying wherever, it could get misconstrued even more.
Yeah, and especially when I'm in America, like when you're in America and stuff, I try and use American English because it's just easier.
Yeah.
So you ain't got anyone being like, oh, say this word, say this word, say this word, and you just sat there like. Or people are like, oh, your accent's dead, like, oh, your accent's sexy or something, and then they sat there just like looking at you, and you're just like, but then it's over here, like, and I didn't really notice this because, like I say, when I'm over there, we don't have Americans in the party when we're playing when we're gaming or anything, so you don't really see it a lot, like. Madeline brought it up to me and it made me a little bit cautious because I was like, we use mate a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
But to her, mate means like partner, like mating.
Oh right, so it's
because they're American. So
yeah.
And obviously these are like none of these are to blame over the different countries. It just means something different in in certain countries. So I think that's the whole like intent thing behind everything. When it comes to everything, it's like if you, instead of just being like and then blow it so big out of proportion that it can never come back, is to have like a level-headed conversation about it, to then understand that the intent behind some things that we say are going to be different to what you say. It's going to be like there's going to be certain things. Obviously, there's universal words that all mean the same fucking thing. We're not saying that, but there's some that are different to the point of like it makes people uncomfortable and like not knowing what it is. She made me watch a video of like this American woman and this English man who are now married, they've got a kid and everything.
Yeah.
And they were just going through different words, and it was like,
oh yeah, I think I've seen that online.
And it made me so mad that like they've got different like push chairs if you're English, stroller if you're American, but some of us use strollers as well, so don't be like. But they were going through them, and it was like, oh, stroller. For us, it'd be a stroller. Well, it'd be a pushchair or a stroller, right? But then if it's got four wheels and like a like a basket with a top on, then it's a pram because it's Victorian times. That's where it invented from. So it's a pram.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they call Moses basket smells, but we call it a Moses basket is because that's what Moses was found in, floating down the river, i.e. Moses basket.
Yeah.
Like
you've got me curious now, so I'm gonna have to have a look at this.
Yeah, I've a butchered. I don't know. I can't remember what they call a Moses basket, but they call it something. They call it something different, and they don't call a pram, which is annoying. But it's not. It's not there. Like I say, the intent's not for everyone to be like correcting them. It's the fact that that's where it was invented from. Like that's where.
Is it a bassinet?
Yeah, that.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but then Moses basket is.
But we call it a Moses basket through history and like through. Like Egypt and everything being the fact that that's what he floated down the river in, a Moses basket. Well, he was floated in a basket, but then it was like, oh, Moses basket. So
yeah.
So it's just history. I think history like deviates from people's understanding of words and stuff because none of them are wrong. Like they're your words. They're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong with like words or you're wrong with the intent, but I think it's the understanding of it. Like two people have got to understand it.
It's like that in Australians. It's like for flip-flops, they call them thongs.
Thongs, yeah.
And for us, it's not that.
Yeah, I don't even know what we call. Whatever, we've got loads of different like.
I call them flip-flops.
I call them like Jesus sandals.
Yeah. Then you've got, like say, Australians calling them thongs.
Yeah, thongs, yeah, and it's like.
I wonder what Americans call it.
I don't know actually. That'd be kind of, they'll probably call it something like weird or something, but I don't know. It's kind of, but you know, like I know what I'm saying. So I'm definitely not one to be like I hate arguing. It drives me crazy like arguing because it's like I said, the intent behind some people's things are just not. It's not like the wrong intent. It's the fact that you're seeing it different to how someone else is actually doing it. That's why a lot of comedians, I love it how we tangent off from like fucking ghost hunting and paranormal. There's meant to be a podcast about paranormal stuff, but we'll go in there. Fuck it. Like a lot of comedians have the same issue, is that people take their jokes out of context because they have some weird agenda. It's just a joke. The intent was not to be like an absolute wanker about it. Just wasn't.
But then again, if it's also a high publicised comedian, they may just want to get a bit of that attention that's on that comedian.
Right, you know what the funniest thing is? Because we'll go back. See, I can bring anything back to the paranormal. It's weird, right? Is that even in investigations, the intent is like crazy. Like don't get me wrong, people. Like if you're a ghost hunter or a medium, I'm doing this because some of you out there are full of shit, and I know this personally. That I get your intent. Your intent, like because you're not knowledgeable. Your intent is to be, oh, I want to go help this person, right? But you have to understand that you could be making things worse. Like the intent is good behind it, but you could be making things worse, not understanding the whole situation, which is kind of crazy. And I know this personally. I wrote it in my diary, my journal. What might as well be diary, journal, depending on what you want to call them.
Yeah.
So I knew this family that so their daughter was dying, so she had terminally ill cancer. Like she watched. This is gonna sound weird. She was a friend, but she wasn't. It was like in that passing. Like we'd see each other on occasion in passing, and have conversations. Have decent conversations and stuff. So parents were there. So, like anybody who knows anybody who's dying, you go speak to them. You have a perfect conversation with them. Like it's one of the weirdest conversations I've had, and I'm a religious person.
Really?
That they like the doctor was like, oh, we can prolong her life, but she doesn't get a say in this because she was like 15 at the time, 15, 14, so she's pretty young.
Right,
It was a long time ago, and I had to sit there and listen to their parents go, oh no, it's all right. Like no, we don't want the treatment to prolong her life. Her like God will make her better. I had to sit there and watch this young girl like not understand. Obviously she's probably one of the only few people I know who understand that she was dying and was accepting of it. She was like, I'm gonna die. But I don't think like to have that decision made for you where it was like, no, I don't even know if she was religious, this girl, but her parents were like mad, like fanatical, like just like crazy religious to the point of like it was like scary and it showed scary when they said they were just like, no, we'll let God handle it. And it was like, you're bonkers. You're actually bonkers. I get your intent's good. Your intent's like your intent is to be like, oh no, this is what we believe in. So it's I get it, but like at some point you've got to put aside. Well, you not put aside, but it's that understanding thing again. So it's that understanding like two sides of it, like. But they weren't. The doctor. There was no way that doctor was like explaining it to them, because they had this mad agenda going around their head that it wasn't. And then
They already knew what to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
The doctor was gonna say.
And then 3 days later, she passed away, and it was like, would treatment have prolonged the life? We have no idea, but it's kind of like.
It also depends on other elements that was going on. Do you know, with the health kind of thing.
Yeah. But it was just.
I don't think religion or God would have sorted it.
It was crazy to just listen to. It was just crazy, and that's where I first started seeing like people's behavior as an issue, to be like. But then it's kind of like we all argue. We're all fucking gamers. We've all had mad arguments. Let's be honest. Like shit, fucking hell. If anyone joined the party now, like people would think we hate each other. Like, but our intent's never like malicious. Our intent's always there to be like, to be understood. And eventually, after everyone's done shouting at each other, like we tend to just sit and listen to each other's side and then understand.
Well, it's heat of the moment, innit? That you get caught up in, and then it just takes a little bit to cool off and.
Yeah, unless you're
logical again.
Unless you talk to someone who's got no logic whatsoever, then you've got no chance.
There's no point in talking.
Like you've got no chance. Like you can't instill logic into an illogical person. But it's just that it's that natural like, and I think that's what we're missing, and that's what, and that's why people are. The person who I'm like knows what I'm talking about when I say this. So. If they watch it, they'll be like, oh, so it makes you good at your job. Being able to have this well, good at your job at somewhat, but different aspects, because it makes you good at communicating with people. If you're both willing to sit down and just is to understand the intent behind people's things, and then you can come to an agreement, and it makes you stronger, because no one was out to do like some people are out to be an absolute bunch of C words, if you want to fucking say that. Like, but that's their intent. Their intent's always bad. Like, but majority of the time, people's intent is is good. It's just misunderstood. So I enjoy having these like conversations where it's like you're not a believer, I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Like the intent behind it is not my intent is not to be like fucking force it down your throat and be like, Tom, believe. Like that's not what my intent is. And if it came across that way, if it came across a bit much, which I will never do, or I said something that was like that made you feel a bit like uncomfortable and made me feel like I was challenging your way of thinking, like because we know each other, like whether
Yeah,
it's
never do it intentionally to make me feel uncomfortable.
whether it's like a few months, a few weeks, like because even when we first started knowing each other, it's like my intent's never changed, nothing's ever changed. It's we've all been the same. So if I am being a bit not dickish but a bit forward with certain things, that I'm not doing it to cause any pain or anything. It's just the way some things have got to be explained. It's the way some things.
It's either that or you're passionate about something, because that could also happen when someone's passionate about something. It makes you feel like it's being forced down your throat when that was never their intentions. It's just like they're just super excited about it or whatever. Yeah.
Or super stupid about it as well. Because we can have that.
Well,
You
that
can have
one.
that as well. You can have good intentions, and you've honestly, you could have done it. You could have handled the situation a bit better, but you being like not logical, but being somewhat logical, but being like very quick in passing, especially when it comes to like talking, like small talk or like back and forth and stuff. Sometimes you'll use like the wrong words or something because it's just quick.
That happens all the time.
It's a quick transition, and that goes on for like you see it quite a lot in social media, like in that aspect, and we saw it a lot when every Saturday we'd go through all our evidence for ghost hunting,
Yeah.
and then we'd go on social media and we'd type keywords into search keywords to search things back, and you'd see people having these conversations or leaving comments on Instagram posts or Twitter posts that because it was just in passing real quick, and it's social media, and none of them have had a proper conversation or got to know each other. It was just like bleh, bleh, don't know what to do, bum bum bum. Some things were like used in the wrong thing, and then people were taking them wrong, and then it was like we was reading it, and then that was like another reason we didn't decide to post things on Twitter and stuff, because it was like you can't it's not a good thing to, and it's social media, and we know this. You've been on social media, I've been on social media. Tristan,
viewers have probably been on social media.
Yeah, viewers. Tristan tries to stay away from social media, but he's been on social media. Everyone's got social media. Everyone's always been in an encounter where it's like even two people might be in the wrong, but not on purpose, just because they've used the wrong style of something, and then it's like, and then for that to fix itself, you both just can't sit there shouting at each other. It's never gonna. You both got to come together. Nice. Nothing's because nothing's gonna change if you've got like a certain connection, if like friendships and certain things, like it's not going to change if you have an argument. It's how you handle it. Like, come on, I don't know if Tristan's in chat. Me and Tristan met by arguing. I met Tristan by telling him I was going to kill him. That's how we met.
Oh, wow.
Call of Duty. I met him. I was like, I was stoned. He was stoned, and it was like he was just blah blah blah, like not being aggressive or anything. He was just fucking just nattering away, and I was too high, and I was just like, and then obviously because of his gamer tag didn't help, he had like unique alien back then. I was like, who the fuck is this kid? And then that was it.
Oh yeah. Oh god, what was my gamer tag then was unique noise.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was just
bonkers. I mean, bonkers. I lost my shit with him, and then he lost his shit with me, and then like 20 minutes later, after we both were just like, yeah, my bad.
That was it. It was unique bullets. That was the one.
So, like we were
But
just.
yeah, it was just
It's such a weird thing. It was like, well, my bad. I didn't mean to that. And then ever since that day, 12 years later, we're fine. We've had our arguments, obviously,
yeah,
but it's how you handle them. It's not. It's not anything like our arguments. There's no like, and I've argued with like people in paranormal investigations, which is frustrating. Like, so the people's houses you go to, and you're just like they think you're attacking them, and you're like, I'm not. Just stop. Like, I'm not like whatever thing you've got in your head. Like, oh well, can't you perform an exorcism on my house? No, nope. I can, physically I can, but you don't need it. You don't need that. You don't like, but they think you're just attacking them, like say because of this whole intent thing, and it's just like, it's like how can, yeah, I don't even know how to
you
explain
tell
it.
if a house needs exercising.
Oh, it's just easy. It's like the last resort, just like
No, just the whole thing.
just expel everything. So, but it's such a, I don't know. It's a weird thing to like witness yourself, because I've not really witnessed it a lot. Is someone taking something? I've seen it a few times, but I just like, yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know. I've not slept, so I don't even freaking know at this point. My brain's not even processed it yet. Still, and I'm just like, certain things need to just go smoother when it comes to two people talking, and people not having these weird like, no one's attacking you. Some people might be attacking you, but they're a bunch of bellends. Literally,
Yeah,
they'll never change. They're dicks. Their agenda is just to be a wanker. It's like they should have a shirt that's saying my agenda equals wanker. Like,
yeah,
and that's not. Otherwise, you don't develop friendships. No one had ever thought that. I would have never thought I was talking to the person I'm talking to now in a million years. That wouldn't have crossed my mind. Wouldn't even have crossed my mind. Wouldn't even
no,
looking for it. Wouldn't even happening. I wouldn't even like. I wouldn't even like have gave like you and Scott, like especially me and Tristan back then, you and Scott the even time of the day. Like it just wouldn't have been a thing. It wouldn't have been a thing at all. But it's like, it's such a weird like, certain things happen for a reason, like naturally, like not let's just say maybe one thing. We're not getting into it because they might be watching podcasts and I don't really want to piss them off or name names, but maybe one thing that's like I've had to force to like. Everything else, every occurrence, every, let's just take gaming for instance, every interaction I've had has been natural. No one's ever
yeah,
felt as like, no one's ever felt discomfort in our parties when we get together. Like it's such a natural thing, and I think that makes our intent easier to see and get across.
yeah. Everyone's got the same kind of, I say, similar kind of vibe. I say vibe. That just makes me sound like a hippie, doesn't it?
Ah, fuck it.
But
We'll be hippies for a day. We'll be hippies for a day.
but yeah, it's because you can't kind of. I guess you can be friends with someone that's totally different to you, but it just takes a little bit more effort.
Yeah, and it's,
Chalk and cheese springs to mind with people.
yeah,
If, but it's yeah, definitely one of these things where it just takes a bit of extra effort to get to.
get to know. Like
Yeah,
especially people don't like surprises as well. Like it's this thing of like,
no,
people hate it.
definitely not.
People hate that, and even if they're good surprises, even if they're like good things, people just don't like it. People are like, well, what the, like it makes your brain think of it so differently.
What is it you're after?
Yeah, like certain things like what are you after? Are you doing it on purpose? What's this for? What's that for? And it's just like, I'm just being me. I'm like,
Overthinking.
I'm being me. Like what else can it be? Like it's like
Yeah.
like, and it's, and like that. That's why I only mostly game with Tristan, because that's we like it's that it's there's like, did we know we were both gamers? Yeah. At what point did we both like become? Like I only play multiplayer games with him. Like if it's co-op, like there's certain things that like surprise you and stuff, and then like don't surprise you. But it's just it's bonkers. It's such a bonkers like way of thinking, and it's like and especially when it comes to like ghost hunting, it's definitely not a way you're thinking. You need to be thinking like you just no. Like people, you got to understand when you're in the paranormal world, people are weird. We are a weird species when it comes to it, right? Everyone who's watching, who's gonna watch on YouTube and stuff, if you're a paranormal fan, we're weird. We're a weird species. We do weird things. We say weird things. People sort of salt in front of the door. People carve sigils into things to keep them protected. Some people pray every day. Some people do aura. Some people do Reiki. Some people do dragon summoning. It's all to do with the paranormal. It's all to do with energy. It's all to do with certain things. People scry every day. People investigate non-stop until they like pass out because we're weird. Because we're passionate and we're weird, and that's always going to be taken out of context. Always. No matter who you are. I take my shirt off, you're a weirdo for your tattoos. Like, they're not even bad tattoos. Yorkshire Princess, hello. I just caught my eye when I was doing. But I take my shirt off. You've got weird tattoos. Some people like them, right? Because they're weird, they're unique, they're very intricate. Some people are like, weirdo. Like that.
Yeah.
And it's because we're in the paranormal. Like, I've the minute I speak like, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself. The minute I start speaking Latin, people are like, "You can speak Latin," and it's just like, well, yeah, but then they've got this weird agenda again. That is like, well, you shouldn't be in my house, and it's like,
good. Glad you're doing all right.
And then you sit there and you think, like, people, especially people who's come into my house and like, nah, they've seen that I've got witchcraft books and grimoires. Then they're like, "Oh, you're a witch. Do you do spells?" It's like no one takes the paranormal world with the right intent, and you can't blame them because we are a weird species.
Some people don't take it even seriously.
No,
and then that's when things totally mess up.
Totally go wrong. Like that's what I say. That's when we was talking about the other day. People messing with things that are unknown in the paranormal, or like a lot of things like your intent's good. Your intent is to learn and stuff. Like you've got good morals, but it's like it's a weird place. It's such a weird place. It's not just a simple place that you can just get involved in. Especially like even like the most basic thing with like Reiki. If anyone knows what Reiki is, it's to do with crystals and energies and chakra and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's weird. And that's you just
I struggled to get my head around
spinning a crystal round and like touching certain crystals and stuff on you. But it's weird, and people take it so out of context, and people should just be left alone. Well, not left alone, but be able to do what they do without someone
being judged or
without someone
like
taking it and making it something that it's not. It's such a something. So that's why I never go into an investigation with set things that I'm going to do, because I don't know the people there. I don't know who they are, who they're going to meet.
Yeah.
I'm not, because the minute I start knowing that, obviously I don't, but the minute other people do, that's when they start to change the views on people for the wrong reasons, and it's not anything to do with that. It's just some people. I don't know. You just can't blame them. I think that's the most irritating thing, is that you just can't blame them. You like they someone takes something and changes it. You can't blame them because you don't know their past or their reasoning until you do this. Like me and you are doing.
Actually talk to them face to face.
Normal, not even face to face. Just have a genuine conversation about certain things, and that's why I enjoy ghost hunting, because I can sit down, I can talk to a family. And switch off the part of me that most people can't, and just ask the most silliest of questions, like, oh well, it's like people always just go in. I've seen like time and time again, new ghost hunters, like people who are coming into paranormal, go into people and ask them like the same normal question. Oh, where's the most paranormal activity? What's this? And it's like, that's fine, but you're not going to get anywhere. They're going to. How many times do you think they've been asked that? They're just going to repeat the same stuff. Where, as if you can just sit down. I've had people make me cups of tea. I've gone down with the group. Everyone's setting up cameras. They've made tea for everyone because we're friendly with this nice group of people, and a lot of us know what we're doing. It's not like if they ask a question to us, we're gonna probably know the answer to it, whether it's to do with witchcraft, ghost hunting.
Yeah.
Because we're well versed in everything, and we're not gonna forcibly try and like. Not forcibly. What's the word I'm looking for? God, I hate having no sleep and trying to do things. We're not going to be so upfront and ask certain questions. Just like, well, are you sure it was? Yeah, you sure it wasn't this? And then you're like, no.
Yeah, because that comes across as aggressive as well. So people are going to start to close down to you.
Yeah, they're going to start to just. Yeah, that's what they do. They put up all these defences, and you don't get anywhere because.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a thing you can do, and it goes in any job. If your job is to communicate with human fucking beings, people, leave agendas out of it. Leave it at the door. Go in, and just have a normal conversation with them. They'll either open up, or they won't, and you can't really change that. But yet, it doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't like I say.
There's always something going off in the back of the mind.
Yeah. And it's always that I've even done it. You've probably done it at some point where it's like, at some point there'll be something that's gone off, like you say, but in your back of your mind you're like really? But you've got to get past that. That's just your brain just being idiotic and just being like, bleh. Like it's not anything bad, and it's not anything crazy. But you just don't. If, like I said, if that was a thing, like I said last time, the world would run like so smooth if everyone just was normal and just didn't take things to heart or take things out of context or had more conversations like this. But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen anytime soon.
All it takes is just a simple conversation.
Yep, just simple little chat.
Yeah, and things could be fixed, but like you say, it's agendas that cause things to go awry.
Yeah, just it's not. Especially like, so I've done a few podcasts before in Sheffield, because obviously that's where my brother was when he was in a hospital.
Yeah.
For his accident. So I've done a few podcasts in Sheffield, and it was the same thing. It was just people arguing on a podcast, and it was just like, you're all bonkers. You're all literally like, we're not getting anywhere. What is it? The shouting podcast? Who can shout the line? And I think that's what it is. Is that like, I don't know.
If I disagreed with you, we'd just be talking like this.
Yeah, obviously there's some things you can never talk about with a large group, like especially like religion, politics and stuff kind of gets like misstrued, and then arguments cause, but
it's because other people have different beliefs to you. They may have similar things, but not everything's going to be exactly a mirror image.
Exactly.
You believe, so you're just going to end up disagreeing with things.
And that's it. And the minute it becomes unnatural, it changes the outcome of it for no good reason. Like things don't like that's why a lot of people, like we were talking about it, a lot of people like miss, like not like a lot of people throw away like good things that's happening to them because of this ideology of like you're scheming against them, you're trying to do something. And we've seen it a lot, obviously I've seen it a lot in psychology, of being like, and especially if it's like, obviously everyone's not got paranoia, but you see it in a lot of people who've got paranoid episodes. Jesus Christ, they'll do that. They'll like, they think everyone's scheming against them.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say I've seen it, but I've not actually physically seen it. It's, you hear it, or people portray it on TV and things like that.
Yeah.
Like Criminal Minds, it's got a episode where that's happening. But can't you somewhat say that conspiracy theorists are similar?
Yeah, I'd say that. Well, I'd say that like
Or at least some.
they'd have paranoia. They'd have paranoid
Yeah.
episodes, obviously, but when that goes, it's bad enough when it's going like hand in hand with some mental health condition. Like it's bad
Yeah.
enough, but you know, when people do it like. I don't know. It's kind of I don't know how to explain it because like me explaining it how it should be explained is probably gonna like how's it going, mate? It's probably gonna quite like offend a lot of people, which I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Do appreciate the follow, mate.
Yes, thank you for the follow.
My thing's not even on the podcast. My follow thing. I need to put it up, but I'll do it at some point. But yeah, so a lot of people. I've just lost my train of thought.
Paranoia, conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so a lot of people. I'm sorry if this is part of you, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but this is how I'd put it here. Listen to too much of this from outside influencers, all at once,
Yeah.
and then they take it in, and then it's like, at you, and you're just like, what's happening? What's happening? Like the moment, like, and this is why it's good to have face-to-face conversations, whether it's like on camera or stuff, or actually in real life. The moment you go, what the fuck is happening? Like something's gone like totally wrong. Like someone somewhere's misread something or done something or like thought of a something thing. Whereas if it's like if someone's like being like, oh this, and you're just like, well, like, you know, you might have done something that's like a bit off or you've said something. But the moment you were like, you get that feeling where you're just like, what? Do I even want to read that, mate? Or are they innocent? They're innocent, but yeah, never mind. It's that concept in it, and it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I've seen like people get kicked out of like help new investigating groups go into. I've seen people kick them out. Like just be like go out because it's just like like they've got some mad way of thinking and you're just like in the game on Twitch. Well, I appreciate that, but probably not. But hey ho.
Yeah.
But no, but it's that initial transition that it's just I don't know. Like I say, it all comes down to it goes in everything. Like I know this podcast is meant to be about ghost hunting all the time, but like I say, everything comes hand in hand. Like whether it's real life, whether it's into the paranormal. If you just can't have a normal conversation with someone, then you're not gonna get anywhere. You're
gonna struggle.
It's not a thing. Like
I found like growing up, do you know me being autistic, not being able to communicate very well with people?
Yeah.
I found that not being able to communicate with people has made my life somewhat more difficult. And I'm going to end up plugging a book at some point by saying, yeah, do you know Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yeah.
That is actually one hell of a book and it's helped me a little bit.
That's it.
But you've just got to try and find these methods of being able to communicate with people or...
Communicate, yeah. And it's hard as well because it's like it's past life as well. Past life is kind of difficult to transition out of. It's kind of a difficult thing. It's like it's something that never helps because for you, obviously, sometimes it makes you stronger as a person. Like your past commitments. Sometimes it makes you good at what you do. So obviously, my past makes me good at psychology, and it makes me good at the paranormal because of the things I've done.
Yeah.
But it also can affect me in ways that you can't change until you get out of it, which is just people doing certain things, which would be obviously my past isn't like as brutal as some people's, like it's especially towards myself.
Yeah.
But like I say, if someone's you see it's a common theme. If someone's been hurt over and over and over and over and over again, like mentally, let's just say mentally, I don't really want to bring physically into it, but both, but more mentally, let's just say mentally. Of course, they're just going to repeat the cycle when it comes to somebody else. That's how it's going to be.
They're expecting.
Yeah, that's what they're expecting, to be fucked over or screwed, like, or hurt again in a way that this is going to sound a bit selfish, but people don't take it out of context, please, or anything. But it's kind of unfair on the next person they meet as well, because you're portraying them to be like everyone else they've ever come across, and it's not fair, but it's understandable.
Categorized you in previous things. Oh, that's, I don't know, I'm just going to say the type I go for. But what they don't expect is you to be possibly the total opposite.
Yeah.
And it can be somewhat disheartening as well at times for the person that's actually been categorized.
being like, but that's what I'm saying. It goes like, and you have that. It's that understanding of it. Is like I said, it's like they're not doing it on purpose, so we shouldn't take offense to it. But it's going to make people. But if logically, it's not fair on both parties. But like, it's not fair to judge someone from your past lives and put it onto somebody new. But then the person who you're doing that to has got to be understanding. If you've actually managed to have a heart-to-heart conversation or a deep conversation, that's okay for them to do, because it's their defense mechanism, being like, I don't want to be hurt anymore. I don't want to waste the rest of my life doing the same thing. So it's understandable. But it's just being able to get past that initial, like, that barrier, and then once you do that, it's fine.
But just getting past that barrier can take its time.
Yeah, especially
it can be a real say grind. It's not really a grind. It is more of a patience thing. Being able to work with them or figure out ways to make them feel comfortable to let their guard down a bit.
Yep.
Which can be hard work in itself.
Yeah, and it's an easier thing as well. Like once people let their guard down, that's them showing you trust. Like they've let the guard down, you trust them, right? So you have to have trust in them that they're not going to hurt you. But it's so hard if someone's not looking for a reason. I'm not talking about past experiences or anything. I'm just spouting knowledge at that. If they take something like you've gained someone's fully trust now, they have to trust you that you're not going to hurt them. So, but that's hard when someone tries to take the intent of something you've said and change it.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then why have you let your guard down to them? Like why? Like then some people do it. Some people, but they're being dicks. But some people do it, and you're just like, and it's not the way. So then you have to like you've taken like 3 steps back, and now you have to rebuild each building block over and over again to be like, no, that's not what was happening. Like it wasn't happening. It's just, and it's kind of frustrating, and it's like a weird thing. So when we was doing exorcism, it was that was the process we had to go through. Like the parents were so frantic that it's just like, just stop, like 'cause you're gonna because you've took it out of what it's meant to be, you're gonna say something that you're not gonna be able to take back, and that'll be it. Like that will be it. That'll be, and I think that's the biggest thing that people have is like. So when we were doing it, they were worried that because they weren't allowed in the room, they were allowed in it when we weren't doing anything. But when obviously the rite of exorcism was going off, they weren't allowed in the room. We took them out because they were too frantic. So they were thinking like she was chained to a bed, because their imagination is just running so wild, and that wasn't it. That wasn't the case. She was perfectly safe. She wasn't even restrained. She was perfectly normal. So you had to go and be like, this is what's happening. You have to trust us, because we're not going to hurt your daughter. Well, obviously I don't know about everybody else, but I wasn't going to hurt your daughter. And clear your mind and just like think of everything that's gone off, and then make a conscious decision, because you're getting to the point where you're going to say something and that everyone's just going to leave. Everyone's just going to be like, we can't do it because you like. Yeah. And that happens. I think that's what happens most times in life in general, when it's coming to decisions, that people get so so caught up in something that they say something that they can't take back, and from that moment it, it's gone. It's like
Yeah, they've overstepped the mark.
yeah,
It can be somewhat detrimental to whatever it is you were doing or speaking to.
yeah. A lot of that's why arguments. It always happens in arguments because people are getting so high rate because they're just not listening to each other. They've got their own little thing in their head, and then one of them says something that they can't take back, and then that's it. That's over, and that's why I don't argue. That's why I hate. Obviously, I'll argue, but I hate arguing with people I care about because it's like I know me, and it's like
Yeah.
that's my biggest worry is that they're gonna say something that's just gonna be like, nope, like you can't take that back, and that's
Just kind of hits that fuck it switch in your head, and then you go, yeah, I've lost it.
yeah, I've lost it. I've done it with family as well, which is kind of a big thing. Is like so I've had arguments with family where they've said something, and I'm just like, you can't take that back. But this is never going to be the same. Like this, and it's not. It's never been like. Obviously, I care about my family and everything, but it's my relationship with them's not what people would expect because of that
Yeah.
that whole argument thing. So I tend not to do it anymore. I'm just like I'll argue with you, but as in like I'll argue logically and like
I'm gonna go
nice.
so far, and then that's it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I'm
go
not
quiet.
I'm not gonna let like my emotions take over because it's dangerous. It's such a dangerous thing because I'm not willing to lose something that's a good thing because one of us is just like and said something like crazy. It's happened in my friendships as well. The friendships of like some things like people I've been friends with for years upon years have said something stupid, and I'm just like, you can't take that back, mate. You can't just go, oh, I'm sorry. That no, like fuck you
Gosh,
and you're
stuff doesn't
sorry,
work.
fuck you and you're sorry, like. It's like there's some things that are just like a just a very awkward and just annoying when it happens, and it doesn't help that I can see it happening because of what I've
Yeah.
done, and I can see the pattern repeating itself, and I'm just like, here we go. Like I was like here we go. Especially I saw it with my friends and stuff. I'm like, here we go. Like I know exactly where this is going from the way you're speaking, from the way you're putting things, and that's how I knew in the exorcism and like in my paranormal investigations if they've had like dickheads before come in and investigate because of how they're now treating me,
Yeah.
and it's just not.
It's not helpful for you what you're trying to do.
No, because I'm there to help. I'm not there. I'm not there to like hurt people. I've done enough of that in my past. I've done way too much of that. I don't need to be doing it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore, and especially for people I care about. And I always care about the people who I do investigations with, so the team I'm with, and then the people I'm investigating for.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't I? So they have my utmost respect and trust, and my job will be never to be like to cause them pain and suffering. And it's the same thing with people I care about. Like my job's not to cause you pain and suffering. Like it's not a thing to be to be.
Well, with your job, it's going to make people uncomfortable, but that's because they're trying to delve into themselves.
Yeah, it's sort like, and you got to transition things certain ways. You got to learn to do it and do it in a good way. But it's just like, I don't know. Some people you just sit there and you're just like, well, you've said that, so you can't take that back. Now where do we go? Like where do we go from there? Like what's the next step? Over something. It's always over something stupid. Name like I can remember, and I do apologise to my parents if they're gonna watch this, but they're not because it's like caveman style, so they ain't listening to shit. But they used to like my parents, obviously because my dad was a drunk. My parents used to argue over the most dumbest things. Like I can remember my dad coming back, like when we first lived in the first house. This is when his drinking problem started to become a problem, and like because he'd brought the wrong loaf of bread, my mum decided to throw like mugs at his head, like ceramic mugs.
Holy shit.
Like, and I'm like, and I come down and I'm thinking, oh, like, you know, then they're like getting in each other's faces, so you have to like push them apart and be like, you're just drunk, fuck off, and you just need to come out. And then you're like, what are you arguing about? And he's like, well, it brought me wrong loaf of bread. And then I just walk back upstairs. I'm like, I can't deal with it. What, like, you're arguing over a loaf of fucking bread, and like one of you's gonna say something that you can't take back over what? Over a loaf of fucking bread, over.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect of it, but then the other side is like I said, the minute you don't know each other's intent because of like that, you can't get past. I'm sorry, if you like, I can't help you if you're arguing over like how much milk to put in a fucking cup of tea or something. You're doomed for the rest of your life. But if it's just because, and if it's two English people, it's kind of annoying as well. But if it's like say if it's across the world, that I've seen it in Italy. When I was in Italy, I saw it in Stockholm. When I was in Sweden, it's like people just act different, so you have to understand the intent behind it. And it was, I think, and that I can get past that. We can understand, and then we can make it better. But
culture barrier.
Yeah, but if
however, yeah, you just got to try and learn an element of culture, so then you can at least figure out, like you say, the intentions.
Figure out, yeah. And we're the worst for it. It's like some people when you go to like France and certain things, when they kiss you like on the cheek twice, people are just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, because they don't understand like you say the culture of that's how you greet somebody. Like that's
sorry, I'd still find that awkward just because I don't like people touching me.
Right, yeah, you'd find but that's like an awkward thing for touching it, but people see it as like, why are you kissing me? Like that, there's in like it's like a sexual thing, and that's why when we first went to America, like it was such a difficult thing to just be like, I can't say mate.
Yeah.
Like I can't, like even texting
what would
people.
They use then?
I don't know, like friend, buddy.
Right, okay,
it took me a while to obviously because I've had American friends because obviously I've been to America, but my automatic thing is to put a kiss at the fucking or two kisses at the end of a message.
Yeah.
And that took me so long for them to understand that the intent's like you're thinking of the intent completely different. Like same with everything. Like everything that every other person does is different to what the other one does, and it's.
Maybe we should just write not an urban dictionary, but an English kind of mannerism dictionary.
Yeah, I should.
So then when people come to England, or an English person's there, they can just look it up and go, oh, that probably doesn't mean what I think it means.
Yeah, like you'll know if it's in like the kiss thing at the end of the text. You'll know if it's in a flirtatious way, like eventually. But it's not. It's just it's like a term of endearment. It's like. It's like everything else. Like a lot of people don't like sweetheart because it's kind of a like you can take it in two ways, can't you? You can be like very pleasant with it, but then you can just be like, yeah, all right, sweetheart. Like it's a like a fucking egotist.
Well, how it's been said as well. But I guess through text it doesn't really have a tone of voice.
No, nothing does. So that's what
makes it awkward.
That's the hardest thing to do.
Struggle with it.
Is like you can't unless you've done like linguistics or something, or you've studied the way people. You can't even do it on a text because everything's in the same thing. But you can if you've studied somewhat an aspect of like psychology or writing or something, you can kind of grasp it a little bit, but you still can't feel like you can't like it's too hard. It's too hard. There's too many like different variations of what people actually mean by it to be like freaking like it's like you know what I mean. It's kind of weird. It's like if even if it's you, Tristan, or anything, like if someone said something to me or gave me something that I needed to help me with something, and then I message him a love heart. It's like a thank you thing. It's like I enjoy I'll do it with you sometimes. Like
thanks for your help.
Like you'll take a picture of you in a fucking hot tub with a fucking cowboy hat on, and I'll send a
stupid face.
and I'll send a picture of like a sparkly love heart because, and I think that's where it transitions wrong, because obviously you're going to take it a different way because you know the intent behind it, because you're English. You're going to be like, oh, right, yeah. You're not going to be like, oh, fucking hell, he's trying to hit on me. That's not a thing. That's not.
Yeah.
We're English. We know what you mean. It's just like, you know, I'm not like, I'm obviously.
Yeah.
So I think it's that. I think that's the biggest misunderstanding, is just, now if I was to send a love art to somebody
Random.
completely random, and this has nothing. This has nothing to do with what happened. Obviously Tom knows what I'm talking about, but so people are watching. Some people might know. Well, one person's probably going to watch it and know what I'm talking about, but it's got nothing to do with that. It's just got something to do with like the whole aspect. Like there's some universal things where it's like everyone knows like an eggplant is like a sexual thing, like, you know, when you send it.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that are like are universal to what it is. A shit emoji is a shit emoji, right? But it can be used in different, like, oh, well, that's a bit shit, and then a shit emoji, or it's just like so you can use it friendly, or you can use it as a thing.
I'm terrible with emojis, so you'll probably end up getting a message from me if it has any emojis in, and it'll probably mean everything totally opposite to what you're thinking.
Oh mate, I'm the same. I'm the same. So because my, obviously you get recently saved emojis, like recently saved, like I'm like on, like, unless it's someone I'm talking to who I obviously care a lot about, and then I'm obviously aware of what I'm sending. Like obviously I'm like everything else, like whether it's the clothing line that I like do a shoot for, send me clothes and stuff, whether it's my own clothing line, whether it's something else, whether it's family or anything, I'm just like on auto thing. I'm like look, gone, like, and it's
so I tend to stick to like 4 different emojis and that's it.
Yeah.
Just so no wires get crossed, no mixed messages, no nothing.
And now I regret like not having that. I regret not having some sort of. I've done it before where I've gone to like just before I've gone to investigations, and I've been like I'm on auto thing. I'm like just texting, bump send, and I've sent like a love art or like a wink face, and I'm just like. And I look at it and I'm like, are they going to see that like in a weird like? But they don't, because obviously they're English and they understand that it's like that. Where it was like, I just think sometimes I do it automatically, and I think, especially, I don't, you know, if you like something on, and this is probably going to a bit of, I don't know. Everyone's got a different thing if they like something, so everyone sends a different thing, don't they? A different message, even if it is a message.
Sending messages.
No, but
if I like something, it's just the like kind of covers it, just to show that I like it and acknowledge it.
Yeah, I just like sometimes people send like comments. Some people send emojis. Some people send whatever it is, and it's just. I don't know, it's social media, you can't read into it too much, because it's like, you never know anybody's actual goal behind it.
No facial expressions.
No, it's just like...
No tone of voice, just some words on a screen.
And like I say, people are going to take it different to people who are going to, like, from different countries. That's why it's like, it's not... So I don't expect... So I can... A perfect example. I don't know why I've got loads of these examples. Before I moved here, in my old house I was living at, I was talking to this girl, and it was and I'd always be like, I've used love for a long time. So anybody who knows me, anybody who's seen me around, it's just the way I speak. You know what I mean? Hello, love. You're okay, love. Like, thank you, love. I won't use it all the time, but certain things I'll use it on, because it's just the way, it's just in my natural speaking. And I can always remember it being like, she'd always message me saying like, and this was like 10 years ago. This is like way back when. And I'd be like, oh, she'll ask me a question. I'll be like, yeah, I've just finished this, love, and then I'll I'll be like, I'll just finish this and then I'll come talk to you, love. That's how I'd put it.
Yeah.
Right, and then I'll be like, right, boom. And then she'll say something, And like the love bit, she understood, but then she'd say something like funny, and I'd put lol, right, and then she'd put back to me lots of love, and I'd be like,
yeah, no,
what? Because she was from a different country.
yeah,
I was like, lots of love. I was like, what are you doing? Are you writing a message? Are you writing a letter or like a birthday card or something? I was like, and the first time I just thought, all right, she's just like, because at that age, fucking hell, any like when you're a teenager and stuff, you're like, oh, lots of love, oh, like you know what I mean? Like it's that weird thing.
yeah.
Whereas every time I said lol, she'd literally reply lots of love after, and I was like,
No, she's just not getting it.
as I said, I was like, why do you keep sending me lots of love? And she was like, because you keep saying it to me. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm saying like laugh out loud. And she was like, oh. Yeah. She's like, over here, like LOL is lots of love, and I'm like, no, it isn't.
To be fair, that's what my mum thought as well.
I'm like,
it's like, no, Mum.
Yeah, over here it can be that as well. But I was like, the minute someone says lol, they're just laughing out loud, and then
again, I just stick to a couple of them shorts.
Short, sweet.
I forgot what they're called, but yeah.
Yeah.
TBH, to be honest.
Yeah.
That, lol, and that's about it.
It's one thing I can't stand. It's literally one thing I hate. I hate it so bad. Like, I can handle lol, right, and like laughing my fucking ass off and shit. But the minutes people start being like say, CBA, THP, FTY, and you're just like no, just like.
We've actually been given a full keyboard. It's not like we're having to press the button 300 times just to get the right letter.
It's just like no.
Like it used to be.
It's like no, just stop. Because I have to think. I've obviously I use full big words. I'm just like.
All the big words.
I'm like, someone put it in, haha, lol. But I'm like, yeah, I have to think for a second. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I've not used like short abbreviations of like words for a long time, and it winds me up. Scottish knows it winds me up because he'll always we'll be in the middle of a game and he'll be like, oh, BRB, and I'm just like, you're a twat. Just say you'll be back in a minute, like BRB. Like,
to be fair, I've done it, so I'm surprised you've not said shut up.
I give up now. I just ignore it. I ignore everything.
Most of the time, I say be right back anyway. But
the only thing I'll let slide is if someone's like AFK and they literally say on the mic, because if they're on the keyboard, if playing an MMO, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm AFK," I'll be like, "Right, okay." Like it's the only one I'll let slide.
Well, that is a bit of a mouthful away from keyboard.
Yeah, but I'll let it slide. People would instead just be like, "I'll be back in a second." But AFK, I'll let slide because I'm so used to it being obviously an MMO player. But
yeah,
nah, it's this.
I think shorthand. I never got it. I struggled to understand it when I was younger. Do you know I always had to spell it out properly, even with having to press the.
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's good.
Several times.
How's your day going, mate?
It's going great. Thank you.
But yeah, no.
Weather's a bit crap though.
Yeah, red weather's fucking shite. But you get the, like, I just think it's people just misunderstanding. Like I say, we should. You know what? I'm willing to like. I'll pay, and we should get like 12 people in this fucking podcast.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, because I know a few people from everywhere, I'll just bring them in, and I'm not your mate. Like, yeah, all right. But so it's and we'll see what everyone thinks of, like, because everyone knows different words mean different things, obviously, because we're English. I've been to America. I tried to say, when I was in Stockholm, when I was outside getting like food, expensive food, like I think it was like £26 a burger.
Jesus, what was it? Golden crusted burger or something?
It was the best burger I've ever had in my life, but still, like, but we were like, because all we know it is, and we were like, obviously, because my sister speaks a bit like a Norwegian and stuff. I know a few words in Sweden that was like to get us pie, like thank you and bye, like thank you and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, can we sit outside in the shade? And that was just me being English. And she was like, shade? I was like, yeah, in the shade. And she was like, oh, in the shadow. And I was like, yeah, in the shadow. Shadow will be fine. So it'll be fun to see how everyone reacts to, like, just get everyone in. I see you've got me started now on some mad, like, freaking ideas of like certain things, because I don't really know if that's like an actual thing of it being like, if everyone takes the same view on certain words, certain context, certain intent, especially with like emojis and certain words and stuff, because it's kind of like I don't know if you're English. I'm sorry, like I use like if someone's being a little bit cheeky, like but in like a flirtatious, like cheeky way.
Yeah.
I won't go, oh, cheeky. I'd be you guys are rocking the beard game. Yep. Getting it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like my initial thing, if that was like a cheeky flirtatious thing, is like, oh, naughty, little naughty,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, like very English, or like, oh, you naughty little minx, like very. But some people will be like, that's way too much, but it's just the English in people. It's just such a.
Yeah. You guys are rocking the beard game. Yeah, it's going from my head to my beard.
It's like a fucking just a circle of hair.
It's starting to disappear from top here, going straight to beard instead, getting a thicker beard.
Creeping away. But yeah, it should be fun. It should be. I would say I'd get everyone an Xbox, but it'd be chaos. It'd be fucking bonkers. No one would be able to get a word in edgeways. There'd be too much like, and everyone's going to think the same thing. Like, people have different variations of it, but
that's probably why we get on Xbox, because we are similar in many ways. So it's like you say, we're probably.
Well, that's what
talking about random stuff.
That's what I said earlier when I was having a conversation with someone. I said the whole like having similar interests in people. Some people get like if you've never seen it before, like you get asked like a silly question, like are you sure? Like certain things like that. But I was like, oh, have you never had it before? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, it's unusual because you're a gamer. Like, we're gamers, and gamers tend to have like typical interests, whether it's just all of aspects, whether it goes on to TV show and stuff. If you're a fan of fantasy genre, you're going to be a fan of fantasy TV show. But obviously it was like, I got an answer being like no, and then I had to sit back and think, oh, I think like I can't say that because I think I purposely put myself with a group of people that are all similar to the same, so we can have these conversations, so we can have in-depth conversations too. Like I could sit here like now and talk to Darren about anime for like 12 hours solid.
He's mad about it, isn't he?
Mad. Like I could talk to Tristan about video games. I'll let that one slide, mate. I'll let that one slide. But
past today.
But yeah, it's that principle of things, isn't it? So you've got me thinking. I'm literally after this, because we're probably going to game a bit. Actually, I probably need to message someone back and then talk to them for a little bit.
I'm surprised you're not falling asleep now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I've had like. No, actually no. I think I've had like in the past like 3 days, like 4.5 hours.
What games are you into? Just out of curiosity.
Everyone should be into like normal game. I think gamers are just, it's a very broad word, isn't it? Like, are you a gamer?
Well, it is, yeah. But what point do you class yourself as a gamer?
As a gamer. Right now, because none of us play games constantly, as in like, no, we don't even like shit. Like, I play for like 2 hours a day maybe now because there's nothing to do. Like, I think I might have lost the title of being. I am a gamer, but I think you could say I'm starting to not be a gamer at the minute, like in this period of lockdown, which makes no sense because it's lockdown, so I should be gaming like, oh, well, there's nothing to game about. So.
No, it's like, I know we should be saving this for the gaming podcast, but still, just do it anyway. It's like E3. Is there going to be anything with that?
No, E3's cancelled. So.
Oh, it's totally just gone.
So.
No more.
I presume like their own game companies are just going to bring out like the guy on the left is a gamer judging by his glasses. Yeah, probably.
Wow.
That's that stereotype right there. You a nerd.
And God, it's just the glasses.
But yeah, no, I like the game companies will probably do their own little just trailers on YouTube and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, to be honest with you. Right now, I couldn't really care. Couldn't really like. Gaming's in such a state at the minute that it's just like I don't even like. Like no one's gonna be able to afford a new Xbox or PlayStation because no one's fucking working. So that's gone out the freaking window. Like it's kind of.
They may end up just pushing it back.
Yeah, they'll figure something out, but I'm just like, I'm not worried. I'm not worried that I'm not gaming at the minute. I played like Overwatch did me head in when I played it for like after me and Madeline played it, and then I just got addicted to it again. I played it for like 5 days solid, but then just got wound up because the stupid ranking system on it sucks.
Well, being a support on that game is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
So me playing that, because I love playing as a support, I just get screwed over.
Yep.
So you get put in gold, I get put in bronze.
Bronze. Yeah. So that like went out of the window so fast. And Warzone just cheers for follow me. Warzone went out the freaking window because people were just like hacking and just getting like.
I think I had about 3 games of that with you and Tristan, and that was it.
Yeah, like, and I started like. It started to get good, like because I didn't play a lot because Tristan probably backed me up with playing with some like silly people. Let's just say that. Like we were never getting anywhere, and then like once you started getting into it, so I started dropping like 15, 20 kills a game, but it just got so like I think everyone's just done with the whole. I can't even remember what the freaking genre's called, battle royales. It's like there's just no. It's like you know what it is. Nah, it's like no one cares for video games. It's like no one can like the game companies themselves just don't care for it.
Look at Gears of War, for instance. They seem to have just gone. You know what? Just chuck it out. They can deal with it.
They can. Yeah.
As and when people are playing with it.
Look at us, mate.
Want to play it.
Us playing it. Me, you, and Tristan. Like, on what planet can you not do a campaign? On what planet? Does it just like I'm just gonna kick you out and then join back in, kick you out, join back in, kick you out, go away, go like. But that game was always going that way. It's not like the competitive scene's probably the only thing that keeps Gears working, and that's even a Porsche.
I was gonna say even then it's a bit.
It's gonna transition like Halo, like I presume it'll just transition out, so it's not like not anything.
The good old gazebo tents in the car park.
Car park. That's it. You know what I mean? Good old fucking tournament mode. But it's like I'm not really into like gaming as much as I was. I'm like it's just because there's nothing to do. There's nothing like there's. And I say this, I've got like nearly 400 games, and I'm sat here like complaining there's nothing to play. I've got like ridiculous amounts of games, but it's just some things that like you know what it is as well. The games I want to play are just so toxic, and like so toxic I can't be bothered with it.
Yeah, that's why I like Minecraft. I don't care how simple it is. I just love Minecraft for the simple fact it is simple, and I say there isn't. There's always something to be done.
Yeah, that's it. You can just relaxing. You can't be really toxic on Minecraft. Well, you can, but there's no like.
Well, if PvP's on it.
For life, baby. Exactly. Minecraft for life. Minecraft for life. But even that now is like I don't think I can look at that scene like Minecraft. You know, because when I was doing like creative and making like underwater cities and Atlantis and like Colosseums and stuff, I was so stoned that it was so easy. Just chill, just sit, relax, get a bit high, and every time I go on it now, I want to do that, but I've just not got the effort, and it's too much.
It's like I wouldn't mind having everyone on, you know, to do a proper survival mode.
Yeah, but everyone pisses around. Everyone faffs around. Everyone's like, oh, well, I'll kill you if I shoot you with this 7-powered fucking fire bow. Yes, you're gonna one shot me. I'm dead. Lose everything. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Not like
Yeah,
it's such a like it does. It's still it'll go on forever. It's like it'll be an immortal.
I want to
game.
try that Minecraft Dungeons as well at some point.
Yeah, it should be. Me and Tristan was on about that yesterday, playing it, but I'm just like I'm not in the mood. Like today, especially, I'm not in the mood to do shite. I'm just, like I was in the mood to do this
Your
podcast.
eyes look ready to shut.
Yeah, like I was in the mood to do this podcast. I know we've not really spoke about a lot of paranormal things. We've spoken about a little bit, but I'm too tired to even get into my head and just like constantly talk about one subject because it's just that's why we're tangent. If we've gone off in a tangent and if we've gone off it's very short, right? Cool, that's good to know. We're playing that then.
All right, yeah. Pass.
Yeah,
save me money.
if we just start talking about random stuff, I apologise because it's like I'm on no sleep. I gave Tom no topics to look at all, so he has no idea what's cracking off. It's literally
no, because I'm not from the world of paranormal. I just ask random questions as and when they pop into my head.
So, it's like we've spoke about like the mental health and like the view people take on the paranormal this time. I'll put that in the description when I put it on YouTube. I'll be like, it's not a normal one, like special. But that is a good thing. I am gonna get everyone to. I think we'll do more. If we can get everyone who games with us on for like how they perceive paranormal, right?
Yeah.
Because that'll be kind of fun. Because everyone's got different views. We know this because we've been in parties with them for God knows how long. So we'll try and get them on one, and then it's piqued my interest. It didn't pique my interest earlier because I was in a shit mood and my anxiety was like through the roof. Yeah. Well, I wasn't in a shit mood, but I wasn't in a good mood to be doing it, and like. I didn't think then. I was like, oh, is that actually like? I just thought like, but now like I've had time to decompress and look at everything, and even just having like a chat with the person that it happened with, and then obviously with you on this podcast. Now we can sit here and like let's talk about politics. That stuff lasts long in conversation unless everyone agrees. Exactly. That's what we said earlier. Was like the things that you don't want to talk about, religion and politics, because it's just like it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But
yeah, it can.
But no, we'll do that, and I'll get like a random group of people in, and then we'll figure out if. Yeah, we'll dive into some like psychology of like how, and we'll make like special episodes of it. Them two will be special episodes.
One thing I'm really interested in. Do you know psychology?
Yeah. I
don't think I've got the brains to go to uni and complete all the paperwork.
No.
But applying it and learning it is still something that interests me.
We'll just make a special podcast for it. We'll do a Hunting for a Haunt podcast, psychology edition, or like gaming edition, or like just something like one-off that we would get everyone in just to ramble on. But the whole like, it's I might write something about it on, like draft some up real quick on how actually other people perceive other like symbols and stuff. I won't just use emojis. I won't just like base it off of emojis, but I'll base it off of like the whole of symbology.
I was gonna say just general symbols itself.
Because then it'll be fun to just get everyone on to be like, well, like because
we should do like flashcard things. Do you know, like showing them what does this mean, and then they go, well, they either have no idea or what does this mean to you?
To you. Like just be like this, because like we spoke
about
much
like flashcards.
We spoke about it a little last time where it was like people have such a different view on what a pentagram is. Like when we spoke about it, like, and that's just a symbol. Like, so I'm fascinated now that I want to see like the broad aspect of what everyone thinks of just.
That reminds me of do you know Da Vinci Code?
Yeah.
Oh, what's he called? Oh, I've forgotten the name of him. Not Tom Hanks, but the actual character. Robert Langdon.
Oh, yeah, Robert Langdon. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a symbologist. Yeah. And it's so interesting just watching or reading it.
Because it'll be... It's just my devil emote. That actually might be my emote, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But... Yeah, so it'd be fun. It'd just be fun to like. It's piqued my interest because you never see it that way, do you? Like unless you take your time to decompress, not lose your head about something, and get into what it is. You were. You don't now. I just want to understand if that's like if all it is people just misunderstanding each other.
Yeah.
If that like just misunderstanding the difference between dialect between country and country, which would be kind of fascinating to do and see. Might be a bit
Also,
difficult. But
like I said, with the just from the fact someone could live in Scotland and use a certain emoji a different way to someone in London,
someone in London,
and we're basically we are on the same island.
yeah, and it's like that's why, and I'll always stand by it. And I'm sorry if anybody like this like pushing a mood or something. I do apologise, but social media is not good for just people in general. It's not a good platform. I'm not like advocating don't download it. I'm just saying like there's too much of a mixture in one populated area to just be like certain on anything unless you've transitioned from that small talk to then into a deeper conversation. Then social media is all right. Social media is a good thing for quarantine because you meet new people. You have a little conversation. You have a little conversation. It might just be passing. They might send you a picture of I don't fucking know, like a cup upside down balancing on a ping pong ball, right? And then you go, oh, look at that, that's a cool picture. Or it leads to like someone messaging you, and 5 weeks later you're still having a conversation. So that's a good thing. But there's always the bad parts to it. So it's kind of difficult.
Well, it's always that yin and yang, isn't it? Give and take kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's weird. It's got me thinking now. I might.
Yeah. Some symbols.
I might just try. I might figure it out. Like I'll probably figure it out in about an hour, to be honest with you. But it might. I'm just trying to figure out who to get on because obviously some of them struggle speaking English. Well, no, some of them don't struggle speaking English, but some of them use broken English, which can be confusing a little bit. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah, for sure. But that was like an intro. I'm glad we had this conversation. It's like piqued my interest as something that I wasn't even thinking about.
I've always found symbols interesting, but I've not really known how to go about, researching them, understanding them, and things because my mind's not really massively academic.
Yeah.
I'm part caveman, really. Just if you don't work brute force with armour.
brute force. Facebook. Anti-vaxxers, flat earthers, and just in general dumb people are the human equivalent to a participant. yeah, mate. Is that me? I've not stepped foot on Facebook in.
Oh, God, but the only thing I do is talk to my mum on it, if that.
Yeah, like, don't even get me started on flat earthers. It's just no. It's not it's not a thing. It's not. It drives me crazy. But yeah, I don't like. Yeah, it's kind of mad. Like that, I don't know. It's a weird thing, isn't it? It's a weird thing that this has come up now.
Yeah, we could probably talk for another hour on it.
Yeah, for sure. We could, but we're not because I need to at some point. I say get some sleep. I'm not gonna get some sleep. I'm not because my anxiety last night hit the roof, like because of what happened and stuff. Because I didn't know what was happening. I think that was the case. I just didn't know what was happening. My anxiety.
The unknown always trips people up, doesn't it?
My anxiety was like, boom, through the roof, and I was throwing up this morning. I was like,
jeez.
Like, because it.
I've never got that bad with anxiety.
Well,
been close.
That's something I get when I don't. I've seen a flat Earth prove himself wrong with math, and he's still that's all of them. All of them are like just they think they're proving it, but no, my anxiety, especially when something's happening that I don't like, that's just it's like surprises me, and then I physically, and I'm a logical person, like shit, like if people want to know, like this doesn't mean anything, but I've got an IQ of 130, so like it's above average, and I have no idea what's happening, like, and I'm just like, whoa, what, like, because I understand most time I understand everything. If people know me, I understand quite a lot of things about things. Like I'm a well-versed person in knowledge in general. That's why I strive for. I get knowledge and I just keep consuming it. Whether it's if you can balance 6 Tic Tacs on top of each other, I'm still gonna know it. Like because it's just knowledge. And literally, mate, it caught me off guard, and I was just like, what is happening? Something's been like miscommunicated or something. And it makes my anxiety get to the point where normally I'll have panic attacks. I've not had them in ages, but obviously I know how to stop that now because obviously psychology. I'm a master of. No, I'm not really a master of it, but I'm aware of what to do when it happens.
Well versed in it.
Yeah. So what it is just because all my adrenaline starts kicking in, and then I fell asleep after because I was just like. I'd exerted that much energy that I think I fell asleep for like 5 minutes. You know that period where you fall asleep. I know it was 5 minutes because for people I was like, well, how do you know? It's because like I looked the time on my phone from the conversation I was having till I woke up, and because that little sleep, I think it was just because I exerted everything and I crashed so hard. It like ever since that, like I woke up from that 5 minute and my stomach was just like your adrenaline needs to go somewhere, and that's where it was.
Into your stomach.
So I still feel sick now, and it will probably last all day. But it's no one's to blame. Like people who like, it's no one's fault to blame. It's irrational.
That's just how your body dealt with it at that time.
Anxiety is irrational. It's an irrational thing. It's like it's just you. Like it's not you causing it, but it's certain situations that cause it that just like fuel it, and it just. And people get it. People are like, oh, I'm a bit nervous because my stomach. It's not nerves, like it's just your anxiety. It's your adrenaline starting to kick in, and then it needs to go somewhere. So, yeah. So it wasn't a good night for me at all, but it was.
No.
It wasn't. It wasn't. I don't even know how to put it. I don't like. It won't happen again. Like it's never on planet Earth will that happen again. I will never feel that way. I won't.
It was awful.
Like I've made a conscious decision then that I need to figure out a way to not to stop what I was doing because I wasn't doing anything, like there was nothing I was doing on purpose, but because obviously that's not me as a human being, that I need to like figure out if like the way I speak to people needs to change a little bit.
Yeah.
If I'm like too, but like I say, it comes back to the whole symbol thing. The people just misinterpreting symbols and shit. But I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird concept. I don't freaking know. I just don't. But that's how it is. Won't happen again. I won't ever put myself in that position to. Because unintentional. I can't even English. My English is my native language. I can't even English. Like unintentionally. Harm someone, and I think that's what I did.
Oh, no.
I unintentionally hurt someone, and I didn't mean to. If that makes sense, it wasn't that. Like I say, the intent behind it wasn't even close to what it was at all. So, and that's not me. That's just not me. So it made my anxiety be like, bleh. I was just like, cheers for that. Like, but there's no blame. Like I say, no blame. It happens. But it won't happen again. Like I won't. There's no way I'll put myself in that position of hitting the fucking roof. I think if I had a wristwatch on that takes my pulse, I think my pulse would have been at like fucking like 150. It was literally like bombing. Haunting for More, episode 3. That's a face, not a number.
Not a number.
Well, it can be a face / a number. Fuck it. Look, it's even there. Even symbols there. It's an emoji. There you go. Boom. 3. That's a face, not a number. Even there. It's happening. It's happening. It's a 3. It's a fucking 3. Leave it alone.
It is now.
It can be a 3. It can be a face. It's whatever. 7. See, I just see. Yeah, mate. See what I'm saying? Like how obviously we're doing it as a joke and everything, but how out of context can it just be like taken? It can just be taken like just like fuck yeah. But I don't know. We're gonna end it there anyway, Tom, because
no worries.
I need to pee.
You look knackered.
I need to pee. I need to eat. I need to sleep. I need to talk to people. To be honest with you, I'll probably game for a bit, but to be honest with you, you're probably gonna be on the phone for the next like 17 hours. So.
I'll jump on Xbox until I get a phone.
Oh, I'm sure. So yeah, episode 3 down, which it's gone pretty well. Probably not on target or track what we wanted to talk about.
6 hours so far.
6. So we're good on that. We you know what, mate, we might shorten these a little bit because I think 2 hours is a bit too much.
We may have to just chop them in half.
Chop them in half, but
and just part 1, part 2.
Part 2, but even that, then it's just we'll figure it out. I don't. What are we on to have? We'll probably do one like Saturday or Sunday. Our next one will be depending what's cracking off and how I'm feeling.
Follow the social medias if you want to keep up to date with them.
Yeah, because they will be posted on social medias, mainly Instagram. I'll do it on Twitter as well. My Twitter is exactly the same as my Instagram, so there's nothing to like worry about. I'll tweet out normally when I'm streaming, and then I'll post it when it's on Instagram. When it's going on YouTube, obviously my YouTube is exactly the same as what the title is. Hunting for a haunt. Before you go on then. Before I go, before I do the outro, or is it just before you go? Are you just going to send me loads of love, which I appreciate, but.
Watch it before you go. We'll be waiting here for the next 5
But yeah,
hours.
just Saturday, nothing happening. But no, yeah. Well, like I said, next one either like Saturday or Sunday. Then we'll figure it out. We'll get gaming one set up. Trying to figure that out. We'll get that going.
I'll have to do like a gaming through the ages kind of thing.
Yeah, because then it'll be interesting. Because obviously. That'll be more involved because obviously we both know a lot about gaming and stuff. So well, I'd say a lot, but it's something that like
you've played more games than me, but yeah,
it's something that thing. But like the next podcast for this will be more like what's the word I'm looking for? Shit, I don't even know what the words.
It's not going to be more shit, but
it's not going to be more shit, but it's going to be more like that.
Right, okay.
That it's going to be more like I can't even think. I literally can't even think. I enjoyed 2 civilized men talking. Thanks for inviting. Yeah, no worries, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for stopping by.
Have a good day or night, depending where you are. But yeah, like it'll be more categorized. Let's use that word. So it'll be more in unison. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So other than being everywhere, but you can't blame me because I don't even know what's going off right now. I don't even know if this is real. So. Catch that. But yeah, catch us on the next one, peeps. I hope you have a good morning, evening, afternoon, night. And if you're streaming, I hope you have a good stream as always. Stay safe. And yeah, we'll either catch you Saturday or Sunday or throughout the week when I might be streaming. If I'm streaming, I'll still be streaming on this Twitch channel. But yeah, we will catch you, peeps, later. Much love and peace.
Bye.